Hello, SBI TV subscribers. My name is Greg Alexander, and I'm the CEO of SBI Sales and Marketing consulting firm dedicated to helping you make your number. You are watching SBI TV. This is a monthly web TV show featuring guests just like you, executives trying to grow their revenues. By tuning in each month, you can peek behind the scenes and watch your peers discuss their strategies for making their numbers. On today's show, I am joined by Ted Grulikowski. Ted is the Vice President of the B2B business unit of MarketSource. If you are not familiar with MarketSource, they are the most successful sales outsourcing company in the world. For over 35 years, MarketSource has earned the trust of over 200 companies to help them grow their revenues. CEOs and sales leaders count on MarketSource to help them hit their number. In my view, what makes them a remarkable company is they can hire, train, and deploy inside sales teams and field sales teams in a matter of weeks. This is what they do, so they can do it much faster than most. Ted is responsible for delivering over $6 billion in sales for his B2B clients. He has over 15 years of business experience designing, deploying, and leading sales teams across a wide range of industries for many of the most well-respected brands in the world. Ted has a unique view from the inside challenges today's sales leaders face when trying to hit their number. So Ted, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Greg. Glad to be here.
All right. So here we go. So Ted, today, I'm going to ask you to help your peers make their 2016 number by outsourcing a portion of their sales efforts. So it's my view that outsourcing should be part of every sales leader's playbook. And unfortunately, it's often overlooked. So today, this is where we're going to use SBI's Revenue Growth Strategy Workbook, titled How to Make Your Number in 2016. If you're following along at home and you want a copy of this workbook, go to salesbenchmarkindex.com/2016-report. And better yet, if you want someone from SBI to teach you how to use it, sign up for our workshop, salesbenchmarkindex.com/2016 workshop. Okay, here we go. All right, our firm's point of view is there is a 6-step process to revenue growth. We call it the 6-step revenue growth strategy. And today's show is only about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So we are going to focus on which pieces of this methodology are candidates for outsourcing, all right? So the goal of the show is to expose you, our audience, to the possibility of outsourcing portions of your sales strategy, which, if done correctly, can quickly ramp revenue. So let's take the 6 steps one at a time. All right. So first off, let's start with market. All right. So what market segments lend themselves to outsourcing sales?
It's a good question, Greg. So if you look at outsourcing sales, you got to look at how people traditionally view outsourcing. That's where I'd start. When people think of outsourcing, what do they think about? 9 times out of 10, the people I ask, the first thing that comes to mind isn't sales. Might be the last thing that comes to mind. When they think of outsourcing, they think of offshoring. They think of low value. They think of, people answering the phone, handling billing issues. They think of potentially not a great customer experience. What they don't think about is how it can be core to their sales strategy. And when you look at market segmentation, there's a lot of different markets that sales outsourcing can serve. Really, if you look at it, depending on the sales company's strategy, it can service any market. The right partner can look at what the company's trying to solve and what they're trying to tackle from a sales challenge standpoint and serve that market in a way that's effective. Some of the markets where it's more popular and what I'd call some of the early adopters, the sales outsourcing, telecommunications companies, some folks in the automotive business, information technology, healthcare, financial services. Those are some markets where it's a little bit more common. But at the end of the day, if you're looking to solve a sales challenges, a sales outsourcing company can work in virtually any market with a complex sales channel, with a lot of prospects, a lot of customers.
It's a new way to think about it, right? Because I have to be honest with you, and I think outsourcing, I think what you mentioned, right? But this is a different type of outsourcing. This is outsourcing to acquire a capability. This is value add. It's not low cost.
Correct.
Right? Very interesting way to look at it. Yeah. All right. So it's a horizontal, applies to many market segments, okay? What needs do your customers have that you meet for them?
Yep, definitely. So I look at 6 different things, and I'll talk about them really quickly. So you look at speed, look at scale, look at focus and flexibility, and then capability, and the last thing I'll talk about is cost.
Okay.
First thing is speed. If you've got a company that's looking to seize a market opportunity or drive a product or service introduction or potentially reactivate a group of dormant customers, and they want to do it quickly, they can look to an outsourcing company to do that. Outsourcing companies, good ones, can launch full sales teams from the scales of 5 folks to 500 folks in a matter of 60 days.
Wow.
Most organizations, regardless of how big they are, in fact, what we found is the bigger the company, the bigger challenge it is for them to do this. So first thing, speed. Second thing is scale. It's related to speed, obviously. Companies want to scale up or scale down quickly. They work with an outsourcing company that can give them options that they don't have today. Third thing let's talk about is flexibility. So flexibility, again, I talked about if you want to go after a new market, you want to go after a new service, you're dealing with a lot of legacy issues as it relates to personnel and human capital and all the things that are associated with that. An outsourcing company, an outsourcing partner can give you some options from a flexibility standpoint, scale up or scale down, right? We don't like to admit it all the time, but we can scale a sales force down as fast as we can scale it up. A lot of companies can't do that. Next thing's focus. So if you look at most organizations, salespeople probably have 20 or 30 different things they're responsible for. The 80-20 rule applies to salespeople's day-to-day lives and what they go out and do.
All the time.
Right? So if you look at, when we talk to sales leaders, what do they say? They say, well, if I could get my salespeople to focus on a new initiative or a new go-to-market strategy or potentially a new customer or a new service. A lot of companies are transitioning from premise-based software to cloud-based software. It's a new way of thinking. Salespeople can't always make that jump as quick as you can think they can. With the sales outsourcing company, you get focused on one mission very specifically, and you take all the other, sometimes external or corporate noise, and you take it out of it. So again, we talked about speed, scale, focus, flexibility. Next thing's capability, you mentioned it a minute ago. From a capability standpoint, get access to systems, tools, technology, and processes that you might not be able to get from other companies. So a good partner is going to have a suite of sales enablement technology that they can adapt in days and weeks, not months and years.
Pre-built.
Pre-built.
Yeah.
Pre-built, ready to go, focused on executing and designed specifically for those customers. Last thing's cost. So right cost is obviously, you got to look at the cost of the service. You also have to look at the revenue and the return. So looking at it the right way and understanding what the full costs are associated with running a sales organization, especially the opportunity cost, companies look at it and find that sales outsourcing can be a cost-attractive option that generates a great return.
Yeah, great answer. A lot of things that I never even thought about before. For example, let's say you're launching a new product and you got to stand up a team quickly, because if you give the new product to the legacy sales team, they might ignore it. Meanwhile, you dropped $100 million on R&D. You got to launch this thing successfully. So turning to an outsourcing company like yours would make all the sense in the world.
It's a great option.
Yeah, it really is. So what trends are increasing the rate of adoption of sales outsourcing? Because I've known you now for a little while, and I've seen an accelerated rate of adoption, which tells me there's something happening in the market that's causing outsourcing sales to be more viable today than it was before. What's causing that?
Craig, we're looking at 3 things in the next, year to 3 year time. This has changed on a pretty regular basis. I'd look at 3 things. First is, this brand or customer experience. Second is technology, and third is talent. So let's start with this brand or customer experience. How customers or consumers or people are getting information today and how they want to buy is different than it was 2, 3, 4 years ago, and it's going to be different a year or 2 from today. When customers, buy products traditionally from a retail perspective, they're gathering information in ways that they didn't gather information before. They're going into businesses and they're scanning a QC code and getting the price from the 20 closest competitors and making decisions in ways with information that wasn't available. What we're finding is people are taking that same approach and that same information, and they're wanting to translate how they do that in the B2B space. So that's the first thing. How's that experience changing, and how does the right B2B company take that kind of customer retail focused experience and translate it into the B2B commercial world? Second thing is technology. So technology is changing. It's changing rapidly. All the cloud-based services, the transition from a CRM perspective, from a sales center, sales enablement productivity perspective. There's a new app, there's a new plugin, there's a new sales productivity tool coming out every single day. Some cases multiple every single day. So companies are looking at how do they take advantage of those technologies to sell more, faster, and better. The right partner can help them do that. Third thing is talent. So hopefully, knock on wood, the economy's improving, right? What's that mean? Well, it means hopefully that people are going to sell a lot more and everybody's going to be more successful and that job market's going to improve. What that means for B2B sales leaders and B2B companies is the market for talent is going to get more difficult over the next 2 to 3 years. What's the key ingredient to sales? You got to have the right people, right? You got to top grade your sales team, which you know very well. So from our perspective, that talent and acquiring that talent and keeping that talent is going to be a challenge that's impacting the marketplace today and is going to impact it in the future.
So by turning to a firm like yours who specializes in this, let's say, I don't know, XYZ company who's an industrial manufacturer. I mean, they're not in the business of having the latest and greatest sales enablement tools. They're not in the business of being able to scale up or scale down a sales force. You're in that business. So therefore, you can do it better than they can do it. Right. And they're acquiring that capability from you, applying it to their need. In presto, we get a business result, right?
You got it.
Yeah, it's a great value proposition. It really is. So we're going to take a quick break, but stick around because when we come back, Ted is going to answer my questions on how outsourcing sales increases the chances of making your number. So we're going to talk about increasing the probability of hitting your number. So stick around after the break.
This is not a table. It is a stage where your performance is measured in numbers. If you reach them, you get an encore. If you don't, it could be curtains. That's why you need the well-rehearsed, proven sales and marketing strategies of SBI.
Welcome back. You're watching SBI TV. I'm Greg Alexander, CEO of SBI, and that is Ted Grulikowski, who heads the B2B unit at sales outsourcing company Market Source. Today, we are trying to help you make your 2016 number by having you explore the possibility of outsourcing a portion of your sales efforts. We're using SBI's 6-step revenue growth method and the companion workbook to guide our conversation. Today's focus is on deciding which parts of the steps are candidates for outsourcing. And before the break, we reviewed step 1. So let's jump into steps 2 through 4, okay?
You got it.
So we did some market research. You answered all those questions on what part of that could be outsourced. We're now at the second step, which is called corporate strategy. And our belief is you've got to have a corporate strategy before you have a sales strategy, right? So things in a corporate strategy like what markets are we in, who are we going to compete with, what products, which customers are we going after, et cetera. So in this context, first question for you is, what are the typical objectives of a sales outsourcing project? Because in the corporate strategy, the CEO is going to say, these are our revenue and profit objectives. And in a non-outsourced world, the sales leader would have to translate that to things like sales quotas and territories, right? So when somebody comes to you with a sales outsourcing project, what are the typical project objectives?
It's a great question. So we look at it from a couple different lenses. So typically, when you think in outsourcing, you think in sales, it's all about cost. But when really sales is all about getting the best return for your sales investment. And when companies look to us, they look at it from a couple different lenses. It starts with how are we going to effectively create an experience that's going to increase our customers' lifetime value? And secondly, how are we going to reduce our customer acquisition costs? Those two things are primary objectives in any C-suite executive when they're talking about sales outsourcing, or if it isn't, it should be.
Yep. Okay, so lowering the customer acquisition cost, which happens because you increase the lifetime value of the customer.
You got it.
Right? Okay, fantastic. And that's a great example of an objective of that project because sales leaders, the piece of the sales plan they may keep in-house, they have the same objectives. So your objectives and their objectives are aligned. And there might be a portion of their plan where you can have a better CAC to LTV ratio by outsourcing.
Yeah, and the other thing you look at too, and those are two hard objectives. The third thing is more of a soft objective, but equally as important and becoming more important, I think, in the next 1 to 3 years. And that's creating that customer and that right brand experience. You got to look at a partner, and again, this can be hard to measure, and you know, a good partner can help companies understand how to measure this. But how are you creating that experience, you know, for the B2B customer that they're looking for and representing that company's brand in a way they can feel comfortable with?
Okay. All right, so let's move on to the second question in kind of step 2, which is corporate strategy, right? Is it typical to take a portion of the sales plan, such as maybe a geography or an industry vertical, or maybe a product or even a sales channel, and outsource that, or do I outsource the whole thing?
So, you know, I would say it's typical to outsource a component more commonly than outsource the entire sales project. That requires a level of change management that without starting with a component of the sales process, you know, likely, you know, the likelihood is you got to prove the model and prove the concept and then grow. You know, some cases, more progressive companies that understand the model and really understand the framework behind it, you know, generally speaking, a little bit smaller of an organization, you know, small and medium business would look to outsource, you know, their entire sales function. Most companies are outsourcing, like you mentioned, they're outsourcing a channel, they're outsourcing a geography, they're outsourcing a portion of a channel if it's a complex, customer engagement process. The other thing that companies look at, is from the B2B customer sales engagement lifecycle. So from demand gen to lead gen to, customer acquisition to customer follow-up to sales support, companies will choose to outsource a portion of that engagement lifecycle.
So a piece of the overall, kind of a function-specific outsourcing.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so we've covered step one,
Yep.
right? So markets. We've covered step two, which is corporate strategy and translating that to objectives of a sales outsourcing agreement. Let's move to product. Okay. So explain to the audience what your product or service is, cradle to grave.
Cradle to grave. So the simplest way I can put it is we help companies sell more, faster, and better. So what's that mean? So we design, develop, recruit, hire, train, and deploy and manage sales organizations across the entire B2B customer engagement lifecycle. We run sales teams from 3 or 4 folks to 300 or 400 folks, in some cases close to 1,000 folks. We interact with customers with average sales sizes in the neighborhood of a couple hundred to a couple 100,000. We do that inside, outside, direct, indirect, and we also lend a hand in the sales support arena. At the end of the day, we're about engaging, enabling, and equipping the best salespeople to deliver the best sales experiences.
So it's incredible. I mean, I didn't understand that you guys had that much capability. And I know many of our audience members have no idea that that exists. That they, let's say, I don't know, I want to deploy some resources on this industry vertical. I can call you up and put together a program, and in 60 days, I'm rocking and rolling.
60 days, you're up and running with productive resources that have the experience that you need in your market, and hopefully helping them make the number.
Unreal. All right, second question in this category, which is step 3, product. So how do you price your contracts? Is it flat fee? Is it commission? What's it look like?
I feel like I'm in a sales call. I'm going to answer that one, right? Sell you? All right. I can't disclose price today. I'm just kidding. So if you look at, it's a performance-based philosophy.
Okay.
So there's a fixed and a variable component. So what's that mean? The fixed component covers, it covers salary, it covers benefits, and covers all the fully burdened expenses associated with employing a sales team. And what a lot of companies we found that we work with, until we really show them with a pretty in-depth model, not all companies really necessarily understand all the costs associated with running a sales organization. So whether that's benefits, whether that's 401k, whether that's facilities, whether that's rent, whether that's IT infrastructure and all the support, all the systems. It also includes a suite of value-added services like business intelligence, reporting, analytics, sales process design and engineering, continuous improvement, innovation type activities. The variable component is based on productivity and profitability objectives that we agree with our partners, we're going to be responsible for hitting. So we hit your sales number, we earn that variable compensation. We don't. So you look at that, and then you look at, okay, obviously, what's that ratio? That's a tough question to answer. Depending on the industry, the sales mission that we're, going to go after, the difficulty and the complexity, that ratio can vary pretty wildly.
So, I mean, very similar to the way I would pay a sales organization, an internal sales organization. I pay them a base, and I pay them a variable. If I come to you, I'm paying you a base and a variable.
You got it.
It's just like that, okay?
Exactly.
All right, so let's say I hired you. Am I responsible for generating the leads and giving them to you? Or are you responsible for generating your own leads and closing the business?
So the answer is yes to both. It can be yes to both. So, again, depending on the engagement, companies can engage with us to partner and to solve their sales challenges across the entire engagement lifecycle or different components of it. So let me give you an example. So in some cases, companies might count on us to generate leads and to transition those leads to their sales team. And we develop processes and systems and communication tools that allow us to do that. In some cases, we may be responsible for generating those leads and closing those deals. Third scenario, company generates the leads, sends them to us, and whether it's inside or field-based, we're responsible for taking that lead and closing it.
Okay, so you can do however the customer wants to do it.
However the customer wants to do it.
Okay. And then the last question here before we jump to another break is, how do you report results?
So really how we report the results is how the customer wants to see the results delivered to them. How they want to see it delivered to them, in what format, and in what time. So this is an interesting one that's a challenge for a lot of sales leaders. So if I ask a sales leader, in a company, how does their reporting system, how does their CRM system, and how does their technology tool set meet their needs from an information and from a reporting standpoint? Usually the answer is less than ideal, right? If I ask them an example of, let's say you want to change something in a call report in your CRM tool, and you want to gather a set of information, and you want to change that in a week. Marketing leaders love this because they want to gather a lot of information from the sales team to develop campaigns. We can make those changes in hours and days. In big organizations, if you want to make a change in this one-size-fits-all CRM infrastructure, That takes months and years. You get in line with IT, get your budget set up. So the answer is we deliver reporting and information in a way that the customer wants it to be delivered in a very focused way.
Right. So you could use your own CRM tool. I could give you login credentials into my CRM tool. You could bolt your tool into my tool. However I want to see it, you can accommodate that.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So we're going to take one last break. When we come back, Ted is going to explain why an outsourcer can stand up an entire sales team in a matter of weeks when it takes corporations months to get that done. So stick around if you're curious about that.
Your finish line is your number, and the only way to reach it is to make certain everyone is pulling their weight and headed in the same direction. That's why SBI uses proven techniques to bring everyone on your team on board with successful, standardized sales programs, enabling victory at the turn of every quarter.
Welcome back. You're watching SBI TV from On Location. I am Greg Alexander, and that is Ted Grulikowski, head of sales of the B2B unit of the sales outsourcing company Market Source. Today, we're trying to help you make your 2016 number by having you explore the possibility of outsourcing a portion of your sales efforts. We are using SBI's 6-step revenue growth methodology and its companion workbook to guide our conversation. And today's focus is on deciding which of the steps are candidates for outsourcing. In the previous two segments, we reviewed steps 1 through 4. This is our last segment, and we're going to discuss the last two steps, 5 and 6. All right, so we're now in the sales strategy section of our 6-step process.
Okay.
We've covered market, corporate, product, marketing. We're now talking about sales, all right? So how can a sales leader estimate the revenue opportunity to him by outsourcing a piece of his sales team?
Well, you got to look at it from two lenses, Greg. First thing is traditionally, what is that customer acquisition cost and what's that customer lifetime value? You got to understand that. Because whatever revenue that you're going to generate is obviously going to be tied into those two factors. Second thing you got to look at is opportunity cost. And that's the hidden one that most sales leaders don't necessarily think about when they're talking about how to evaluate the framework of outsourcing their sales function. So a good outsourcer is going to enable your sales team and all the associated resources that go into supporting that sales team to potentially spend their time doing other things that are more effective, that is going to generate a level of potential revenue or a cost savings that we like to refer to as opportunity cost. If you think of those two things, so you want to get into a new channel, you want to reactivate a group of dormant accounts, you potentially want to introduce a new product or service or sell an additional component or a complementary product or service. Or if you want to, potentially look at, pouring more resources and horsepower into a strategic alliance. Now, those are a lot of things that customers can look at on ways to grow revenue and measure that. Second thing is that opportunity cost portion.
And the opportunity cost could be tens of millions of dollars.
Tens of millions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the financial benefit more sales, lower costs of sales, or both?
A little bit of both. Yeah. So again, sales isn't necessarily always about lowering costs. It's about getting that return for your investment. And again, I keep going back to that customer lifetime value and that customer acquisition cost. So there is obviously a cost component, but you got to really understand what goes into your cost. And we found, working with some of the largest companies in the world, you'd be surprised, the level of depth that we can go into and share from a cost perspective. What's going into the cost of running a sales organization and what those opportunity costs are. If you free those, generally speaking, pretty well paid, right, pretty highly compensated resources to go do things that they can focus on and put some horsepower and some attention on some other areas.
I see it all the time. It's a rare company that truly understands, really truly understands what their cost of sale is. Yeah. So that's a benefit. Just even entering the conversation with you, it's part of your process with them. You're probably going to reveal to them what their real cost is.
Yeah, as part of the process, depending on the company, what we're going to do is help them really understand, take their sales strategy and understand, give them options on how they can execute it. Yeah. So we love when companies have a really well thought out sales strategy and understand exactly where they're going, and we can help share with them some options to execute that sales strategy and hopefully give them some information. I haven't seen a case where we haven't been able to share something they didn't know, whether they work with us or not.
Okay. All right, is there any channel conflict with the primary sales force?
So there can. There definitely can be. And it's a risk of outsourcing sales. It's a risk everybody should be aware of. If there is a significant channel conflict with the existing sales team, the solution was designed and it was rolled out and it was deployed the wrong way.
Okay.
So what I'd caution the folks that are watching this today or listening to this today is if you're looking at creating an us against them type environment with an outsource partner, it's gonna fail. It's just a matter of time. You bring in a partner, you got an entire sales organization that looks at this partner as an enemy. They've got relationships throughout the company. They're talking to folks. You're not going to get the support. You got to look at this as an extension of your brand, as an extension of your sales team that's going to deliver an experience and help everybody win. The right partner is going to enable the legacy sales team or the existing sales team to be able to focus on the things that they need to focus on to generate the kind of money they want to generate.
Right.
It's helpful, but you've got to design it that way and you have to deploy it that way.
So you have to be thoughtful when you get into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So who's responsible for training your sales team? So you're representing me. I've outsourced sales to you, a portion of it. Do I train your team or do you train them?
Well, Greg, it's a partnership. So what we're going to do is take companies, value prop, features and benefits, traditional product type information, and we're going to deploy a team of instructional designers, instructional trainers that understand how adults, particularly, how folks that are typically in the sales profession learn. And we're going to take that information and we're going to focus on making it sales consumable and making sure that that team's ready to sell the product in the way it's effective as fast as possible.
Okay, great. All right, so let's turn next to talent. So a big part of this equation is your ability to source, hire, onboard, get productive salespeople. So does your company take over my sales team or are you bringing on reps from scratch?
So generally speaking, we're bringing on reps from scratch. But we can do both, and there's been situations where we've done both or a blend of the two. So in some scenario where a company is looking to go after a different market or a different segment, introduce a different product, they need a complete sales organization from scratch, we can go recruit, hire, and train and deploy those resources pretty effectively.
Okay.
That align to that new product, service, or market.
All right. Yeah. So let's stay on the 80% of the equation, which is we're hiring reps from scratch.
Yeah.
So who decides the hiring profile and the compensation plan?
So the hiring profile is decided in a partnership. The compensation plan is decided by the outsourced partner. So the hiring profile, we work with our partners to understand how they want their brand representatives, what's their culture, what's their brand promise, what type of people, what type of personality, what type of sales profile have they typically seen successful, or in some cases, what type of sales profile are they trying to get to that they don't have. That's probably, as common as any, and we'll work to figure out, what that profile is and then find those candidates. On the compensation side, that's why you hire an outsourcing company to make those decisions for you.
Okay. So you guys designed the compensation plan because you have a contract with a customer and you kind of work backwards from this base variable component.
Sure.
And you figure out what to pay people. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
And then as it relates to hiring and onboarding the sales team. So again, if I'm your client, you're my partner, am I involved in the hiring process? Or are you doing all that?
So it runs the gamut. So we've got some partners that want to be involved in components of the hiring process. So if we're deploying a large scale organization that has, regional managers and senior managers and a program director and individual sales reps on the inside and the outside, and it's a complex sales organization, and we're looking to hire senior level resources that are going to interact and live, eat, and breathe in our company's headquarters or field office locations, they want to be involved in that hiring process and different components of the hiring process. Okay. So they're involved. If it's a simpler transaction, where it's an inside sales team or, a field representative, or the customer decides for whatever reason, there's a lot that they don't want to be involved in that sales process, they want to hand it off, then we can handle that as well.
Okay, very good. All right. So as you can see, outsourcing part of the sales effort is worth considering. It may help you reduce the time it takes to make your number. So Ted, we're out of time, but I wanted to thank you for coming on the show, traveling to our location here, and introducing the idea to our SBI audience that outsourcing a portion of your sales strategy can really be a key component to making your number next year. So thanks a bunch for being on the show.
Thanks, Greg.
I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
I would also like to thank you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you enjoyed this show, I suggest you subscribe to SBI TV. You can find it at salesbenchmarkindex.com/TV. Or if it's easier for you, just go to YouTube and check out the SBI channel. We have some outstanding guests confirmed for future episodes and locations like this one that you're not going to want to miss. So until then, I wish you the best of luck as you try to make your number.